Of Elizabeth and Diego, and we apologize for all the delay in getting through to Moses. But there was a chair of the Kenya beach volleyball commission of the Kenya Volleyball Federation. Our sign language interpreter is Lensa Odingo. So let's get into this conversation via Zoom from Mombasa. And remember that the national homologated beach volleyball tour was at the Big Tree Beach, and this was an event that took place on Saturday and Sunday. Eventually, Jairus Kipkosgei and Alphas Makuta winning the men's competition. And then the women's competition won by Gaudensia Makoha and Metrin Nabwire. So a very good morning to you, Wanambudia, coming in Mombasa. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm still in Mombasa, Bwana.
Well, that we can see, and Jua mambo ya pwani ni pole pole, as they would say. But first of all, just an oversight of the homologated beach volleyball tour, the Mombasa leg that took place over the weekend, eventually won by the team of Kipkosgei and Makuta, that's the men's side, Gaudensia and Metrin winning the women's competition.
Yes, I want to tell you, you reported as if you were here. That is exactly what happened down here in the new Big Tree Hotel. I mean, a section of River Mtopanga, where we have a section of the river flowing into the ocean, and aside we have an area set aside for development of youth, and for that reason we decided to host the beach volleyball there. We had a very good time, I must say, and we were also able to plant trees along Topanga. So other than playing beach volleyball, we also did that other environmental we had that impact on environmental growth. So simple and clear, we had a very difficult time this time around because we had a full moon, and whenever we have a full moon, the tides are very high and they were overlapping the whole beach. But good enough, in the morning we were able to clear and we were able to set up the 3 courts, and the homologated liquid tour was a success. We expected teams from Tanzania, but I think they were not able. But said and done, we had more than enough, and that was recognized by the world body. And so those who are there, they earned points in preparation for Commonwealth and World Tours, a World Championship. Not forgetting now, we have started planning for Olympic 2028. So
looking at it overall, you mentioned the story of, the high tides due to the full moon that was earlier this week. And eventually, how are you able, to schedule this competition, knowing that you are actually playing, this is real beach volleyball, unless, unlike what we've seen other places. For example, you can play beach volleyball in Nairobi. All you need is the sun, is to get that court set up using the sun. But playing at the real points, how were you able to adapt your schedule to fit in with what is required and eventually have a winner?
One advantage of the coastal region is the winds plus those other conditions that are suitable for the beach volleyball. Remember, beach volleyball, unlike the conventional volleyball, you're supposed to have those hardship. The wind, the sun, the sun getting hot, and what have you. And those conditions were all encapsulated in that condition. Our bet was on the flow of the high tide, which we as
we're speaking with Moses Mbudia, who is the chair of the Kenya Beach Volleyball Commission of the Kenya Volleyball Federation. They held the homologated beach volleyball tour last week. Looks like there is a slight freeze on this. So we'll be getting back to him as he gives us that. And also, to mention is that also Kenya was in Burundi for the Beach Volleyball Pro Tour. But let's go back as to how they were managing this, given the elements that are required for a good show of beach volleyball. So, Bonamudia, you can continue.
Yes. Our home, it was not easy, as I've mentioned. One, we had to make sure that we get those barriers from our KPA, and we were able to get them, transport them to that place. Just next to Kibaki Hotel, and the athletes were in upbeat mood, and they were able to deliver. One interesting thing is that the coastal players were also gave us a surprise because they took the bronze medal, young girls that are not in a map of beach volleyball in Kenya, and also number 4s, and also the youngsters.
Well, Afriza, I can tell you, maybe somebody is trying to get through to him, but he's talking about, the beach volleyball series for 2024-2025. Wanambudia, just maybe, as you give this to us, you mentioned, qualification for the Commonwealth Games 2026. We know the latest applicant to host the games is Scotland, and, they would like to, after Australia said they would not do that. So let's talk about, the process, the points gathered by the FIVB for the beach volleyball tour. And now, the international scene is where I'd like to start. First with Burundi, where we had the beach volleyball pro tour. Just give us a background of that and other events that are coming up as Team Kenya seeks to accumulate points.
Thank you. We had a very successful Burundi tour where we participated, and we did not just have the African teams. We also had teams like Japan,
Okay, so the beach volleyball series, these are the videos that we had from the weekend. And as we see that Jairus Kipkosgei and Alphas Makuto, who won the men's gold, and also Godensha Mako and Metrin Abuire won the women's gold. Let's go on with the Burundi tour story, Bwanambudia.
The tour was very successful in Burundi, I must say. And we managed to take our top athletes, and they were able to earn points. We are looking forward now to having another homologated tour in the catchment area of River Kaiti in Makueni in maybe a month's time. This will be next month before the kickoff of the convection of volleyball. This will be sponsored by the governor of Makueni, His Excellency Kilonzo Jr., and we are hoping to have another homologated tour to earn points to make it possible for us for Commonwealth, World Championship, and also the Olympics.
So now let's talk about the tours that are coming up. So we know Burundi is one of them. How do you follow up on the beach volleyball pro tour? Because this is an event that has been set up by the FIVB, and the plans to ensure that there is exposure at the highest level for our beach volleyballers.
Well, even this one we had in Mombasa is a homologated one, and it is also recognized by FIVB. Even the one that we shall have in Kaiti River will also be homologated. What we are now encouraging is other countries like Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, Sudan, all join us, the way we joined them in Bujumbura. So the one that we had is homologated, and people earn the points here. Our main focus now is immediately after the examination. We also have our juniors now start participating, because we're also looking at the Commonwealth Junior Championship that will be staged for the first time, I think, in Africa, in Senegal. I will confirm that.
So let's now talk about entrenching this thing at the young, for the youth, and making sure that we don't see that those who probably don't break through to the Malkia strikers or Wafalme are the ones who now turn to beach volleyball. How do you get these youngsters used to beach volleyball early?
Well, that's our plan. God willing, we want really to have real beach volleyballers. But what I have also noticed in the world, the best convection of volleyball, they end up in beach volleyball. But I would agree with you that it's the high time now we think of beach volleyballers who will find their way up the ladder and become international at the global level. So there is that challenge, but we're working on it. We have already identified, for example, 2 girls, Abigail and Shireen, if you can remember them, those that represented us in Tobacco, that island that is in Central America, and they were number 4 in the world. So our idea also is to have men and women, young ones, move up the ladder and have them as beach volleyballers.
So overall now, we know that for most of the global season, the the international season is now coming to a close. Let's just give us a general outlook of what to expect over the next few months with the convention of volleyball, coming up, and how it is going to run alongside the beach volleyball tour that you're going to have.
We were supposed to maximize on this 3.
Okay, just a slight technical hitch with the sound as we try to get Moses Mbuthia, who is the chair of the KVF Beach Volleyball Commission. And we know that the conventional season, global and also for club, is coming to an end. So it's now time for the league series now to start getting into action. Beach volleyball homologated series that are running all around. We should be getting back to him. So we'll be trying to get back to Moses Mbuthia as we summarize this interview. Remember, later we're going to have a conversation, and this is around the professional boxing scene in Kenya. We're going to be having the chair of the Kenya Professional Boxing Commission, Ruben Dolo, and also the organizers of the Nairobi Fight Nights, Willie Wex. He's going to be joining us in just a few moments. And remember, the National Homologated Beach Volleyball Tour is the one that is recognized by the AFIVB. The pair of volleyballers always get the points and they can move forward. Let's take a short break and come back and wrap up this interview as we also prepare to talk volleyball, rather professional boxing. And welcome back to Sports Check on the 23rd day of September 2024. And it is a day when we're going to be having a conversation about boxing. That's in a short while, but right now we'd like to finish a conversation, about beach volleyball and the calendar, especially for at the international scene. And we're with Moses Mbuthia. He's joining us via Zoom from Mombasa. And Mbuthia, you were actually talking, we were talking about the calendar 2024, 2025, and how, you keep this active, and also knowing that there is hope that was exhibited by the youngsters when they went to Tunisia for the World Youth Championship qualifiers. So that is Moses Mbuthia, who is the chair of the National Commission of Beach Volleyball.
Yes.
So over to Moses Mbuthia. We can hear him now, and he can just give us, an insight into the calendar for the year 2024-2025.
Yes, Sawahome, we have a calendar out for 2024-2025, and I've just indicated that we shall have the kickoff of the National League in Nyeri starting on 28th, 29th, 30th of next month. And just before that, we expect to have another homologated tour in Kaiti River, along the Kaiti River, catchment area of River Kaiti in Makueni. And hopefully the governor of Makueni will sponsor that. That happens, we shall let you know in good time. Other than that, to sum it up, we had a very, very successful tour in Mombasa. I must thank my team that worked tirelessly. All my commissioner members, Madam Ududa, Mr. Uduri, Mr. Wino, Madam Ruthrop, and Aisha, and of course myself. We had a very, very successful tour. And I thank God that the weather also went well, despite the problem that I've indicated of the high tide. We hope now that we shall have another tour in Makueni, similar to that, and also on point for our athletes for what I've told you about the Olympics, the Commonwealth, and the World Championship. Thank you.